Alright, what's up guys? This is the 32 Village Iron Caster by GruvaGuy for console. This is what is needed to add extra villager baskets and get crazy extreme rates. So what matters is the seed, obviously of course, that I gave out in the other video, and then making sure you have all this stuff lined up properly. A lot of things have been changed. The brain's going to get changed. And I'm going to let 007 here go over the coordinates that matter.
Alright, we'll come to the west villager beside the spawn pad and the doors. Now this villager is central to the building and also central to the satellite villages out in the east and west. Now the coordinates are x212, y87 and z85. That's the block the villager stands on. On the east side, the block the villager stands on is, what is it, Craft? X239, Y87, Z85. Now we'll come to the far west villager.
The satellite.
He is standing on X144, Y91, 100.
That's this terracotta block
That's
here.
the block he's standing on, and that is in the west direction.
Now, we're not saying that you can't build this farm in this general area and it won't work. We're saying we don't know. We've made it work with this coordinates and we can verify that it will work. But if you feel like spending hours and hours building this farm in different locations and testing it out for hours to see if it works, great. Let us know how it goes.
The west villager is at X281, Y91 and Z95, and again from the block here actually standing on. Okay, I think we'll start with making modifications to make this work on console and much more reliable. We'll
Let's get
come
rid of
over here to
these
the brain.
pistons, because that's the biggest problem here is these pistons. They create ghost blocks, and on console you can't get rid of ghost blocks anymore, which is horrible to do to people, but that's where we are. So anything with moving pistons a lot, it's not going to work out too well for long term.
Also, observers, they tend to have a tendency of
they
breaking
get buggy every once in a while.
way or another.
So,
And we're going to remove the hopper loop to reduce on lag as well as any hopper skipping. Now, start by removing the old hopper loop and droppers and everything behind them basically.
and then what we're going to base everything off of is this center comparator. We got 5 comparators there. The center one is 225, 84, 104.
Alright, leave all the original wiring to the satellites, to the pistons on the roof, also the reset, you can leave all that there. Come down behind the comparators, go 1 block past the comparator on the west side, and then get your, actually I'll just get organized here, sorry guys. Dropper. Okay, put your droppers facing towards you, make that 6 of them. Put a couple blocks out and these are just temp blocks. Put another 6 droppers facing into the other droppers you had placed. Now you can remove all these blocks.
Might want to speak up a little bit.
Come to the west side of the farm of the droppers and put a comparator down. Then put a block in front, put a block up, a block down, and remove the center block. Come back 3 blocks, put a repeater in the center, dust, dust. Come down 1 block, come back 4 blocks, across 1 block and up a block. Now get your dropper, place it on the side of that block you just placed, and place another one facing in towards it, and remove that block. Now just put a couple temp blocks back here, put a couple blocks beside the droppers, comparator, comparator, block up, torch on top. Next one, put a block up, a block down, and remove the center block, and put a piece of dust. Now where you just place that dust, put another block and put a block up, remove the bottom block, and place a torch on the side. Now you can bring it back 4 blocks, remove the block under the torch, repeater, comparator on subtract mode, block across, block up, block across, and block up again, and cover all that in dust, like so. Also come back here and cover all this in dust and make that up to the repeater we started on earlier. Now you can come across 2 blocks, down 1 block, and come back another 3 blocks. Where the dust is, just pass your comparator, place a repeater, and add another piece of dust and put a torch, on the top. Now, if you come over here, craft, block across, block up, block across, 2 blocks. Now put a couple more blocks here. Now come back to the torch, put a dust, repeater facing towards the droppers, put a comparator on the side facing towards the east on subtract mode. Dust, dust, comparator, 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 dust, dust, and torch. Now I'll put a block on top of this torch here and put a piece of dust on top. Now you can put a block on top of this torch here, dropper facing out. I'll put a couple more temp blocks and a dropper facing in. I'm just making a memory circuit here. Repeater, 2 ticks, very important. And put another torch on top. Now you need to fill this dropper up with the repeater completely with full stacks of anything you can find. It can be iron, it can be wheat seeds, it can be anything that's stackable. Okay, I think I'll start. Alright, I'll I'll start from the dropper over here beside the comparator, block out, get some slabs, and run your slabs out towards your memory circuit. Come to the other side, run 3 blocks out. And connect back up to here. Remove them couple blocks and come out. Sorry about that. That needs to go into there. We need a comparator on subtract mode where the dust is here, and a comparator on subtract mode where the dropper is. Dust, dust, and follow the dust all the way around. Crouch place the dust over the droppers. Dust. Now, on this side here, on the east side, very important that you place a repeater right there and just put a couple pieces of dust in front. Solid block right between the repeater and the dropper. Go down 3 blocks and break the middle block.
Well, technically that's going down
Hang
2
on.
more.
Up 2, yeah, sorry. Okay, torch on top, torch underneath. Block, block. And hang on, no. Make sure it looks like that so you can run your power straight into that block. Now this is your reset line. This is what will run to your little heafoil hopper timer thing up here.
The main activation of the entire farm.
Okay, now let's just check that this is working. Put 33 items in this back dropper. I put a few extra, but
There's a stack in there right now.
oh, and one more important thing, you need dust right here.
Where?
Did you get that, Craft? Right here.
Yeah,
Behind the comparator.
I'm not seeing any place no
Right
dust.
there.
Oh, okay. Next to the torch. So you got the 2 torches and the dust right here on the left side.
Yep. And as you can see, the power slowly gets weaker until it disappears. That activates the timer and it will move 1 block every time.
Basically just a pulse
the memory
extender, right?
circuit's powered. Yeah. Anyway,
Alright.
let's just hook it up to the
To the
what's the best way
activation.
to do this? I guess what we can do in this circumstance is get a get some obsidian, slime, and we'll get a piston and a redstone block. Put your piston down.
Sticky piston.
Sticky piston, yes, very important. Put your block there and just connect your dust up. Make sure it reaches all the way. We're going to need a repeater here to make sure the signal reaches. And come up the top here. In every single dropper, we need one item. Hang on, just let me get organized. Oh, I forgot you can't do it that way. Oh, thanks, Craft. Now, once you have one item, oh, don't put any in the back. Sorry, that's my mistake. Only in the front row of droppers. Now, when that's done, just break your power line near the torch and repower it. All these should turn off. That will move the item into the default position in the back. Now, the brain is complete. Your farm should run without any problems. Anything you'd like to add, Craft?
Alright, so what we got left is let's give some coordinates for this spawn pad, because it's not the same either. So we got the corner here as 217, 97, 92, 234, 97, 75. And that's the top slab. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You can see what it is, you know, fence gates, open, water source, always facing the north for the water source. Glass pane,
Yes.
slab, 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 you know. There is the water source on top of a slab, then just a slab, and then another slab, and then a water source on top of another slab. And then 2 more single rows of slabs. That's pretty much it. Besides for
The
that,
only thing
go ahead.
we need to change the piston reset on the roof because of the observer.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll get to that next here.
So what we need to do with these observers, personally, just completely destroy them. Don't even keep one. Okay, what we will do here, come to the middle one, put a block, replace your
Slabs.
comparator. Don't forget to put it on subtract mode, and that should be it. Remove this dust connecting to the other line. Remove the block behind the repeater and replace it with a recognizable block and place a torch on top. Now do the same with the one in front of it. Hang on. Replace it with a recognizable block and torch on top. Same again over the other side here. Remove the dust, break the block, add your slabs, comparator on subtract mode, dust. Make sure you do this one too. Blocks, replace your comparator on dust. Which reminds me, while I'm here, with this circuit, it has to have a power of 14 to reset it, not 15. So make sure there is one gap down here. Don't put a repeater right up against the block. It won't work properly. Let me look. Anyway, I forgot to remove this dust. I'll remove that now. You're going to have to come under the roof and extend this wiring. And that block you put in recognizable before, put a block under it and another block, and then join it up to your wiring. Run some dust going back to the piston. Now you got another block here. Just place a block on top with a redstone torch, like so. Now make sure to add a repeater in front or behind this block to carry the signal through to the next block, and put another torch on top of this block here. Now double check that all your torches on the bottom are off and all the ones that are on the top are on. I've got to fix this circuit too.
What's wrong with it?
Parameter subtract mode. I pulled it out before because we didn't want the observers there. Okay, that should be it for that side. Give them a good look, top and bottom craft.
That's what I'm doing. So it just starts in here, goes up, shoots over, pop, 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 and then same thing over here.
Now find your recognizable block again, put it behind the repeaters, and remove any excess dust behind them. Now get your torches out, torch, torch, repeaters. Now come back under the roof. You'll see your recognizable block is there, which is going to be a difficult place. Hang on. Alright, what we'll do here, we'll put the torch on this corner block. And move it back one, and we'll place the dust there. So that should all line up. Now if you come to your next one, find your recognizable block, break the dust in the middle, and replace it with a block. Now with this one, very important, on the same side as the brain, the south side, put a repeater to power through that block, because you need to power the dust for the piston as well as your reset line for the next piston. And put another torch on top of that one, like so.
And that's all three.
And the next one, just continue the line down and make sure to connect it to your next reset. Now that's about it for the console conversion.
Alright, this thing here, this is the exact 2 blocks that all the golems will start spawning on. You don't have to do this, but we just have a little piston set up to push them off whenever they spawn. Or you can have it open, or you could use entity cramming.
Personally, I found a better way of doing this. What you can actually do, just pretend this is your spawning block in the front. The best way to control getting the golems off the block quicker, as well as spreading them out, is put a boat on it. And if you could get a couple rabbits or sheep or whatever in there, since we're uncreative, I'll do it the cheaty way and use eggs. And I'll just place a couple rabbits in there. Whoops, not myself. Couple little bunny rabbits in like that, and just leave the block like that. And when they spawn, they get thrown straight off. They don't get stuck on the block, and they don't take up the cap of the golems in the spawn area.
Alright, so also if you guys didn't know, there's a guardian temple right here on this seed, right underneath this. Oh, also these extra villager baskets. When we trimmed off the extra doors to make it 32, you got these extra baskets here, so if you want to give it more golems, Each one of these can be another whole basket like this that you can fill up with as many as you want. The more you put after a certain point, the more lag you'll get, and it'll just become counterproductive. But these are all the different spots you can use.
I would only suggest this on the east side. The west side, you really need to know your stuff because they can see doors and that if you place them in the wrong place. From the outside glass where the villages are, you can only come back about 16 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That would be the furthest out you could put a village. You also need to keep in mind they have to be up the middle row of doors here to be registered as part of the village basket, and you have to drop them. Their head has to be below this one block here. So the villager has to stand below that block there to unregister doors. So you need to drop him out of range when the farm's not running or being reset.
And you can come check this out, make sure it's correct, but it looks like 246, 91, 85 is the block that they can stand on to be deregistered.
Well, that's in register range right there, Craft.
Oh, so down one more?
No, keep going.
Oh, they have to be actually
They're
standing on the glass. Okay, I got you.
well, that's their head height's basically glass, but
All right, so this is
the
where they'll
best way to
stand.
go is just put
246,
one block on.
246, 87, 85 is the actual first basket you should make.
That's the height I would go by. It just allows for a little bit of extra.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand. Also, you know 4J is going to patch this, so what you should do is back up your world, back up your entire PlayStation. If you back up your entire PlayStation, you can lock in the version of Minecraft and have it forever. There's nothing they can do. You'd have to play offline or cancel the automatic upload or download of the updates. But if you wanted to play around with this farm, it's a good idea to make a backup of your PlayStation. Just a tip.
The more villages you have, the more you'll increase your flow of golems, only to a certain point though. I wouldn't recommend going over 150. You start losing, you start getting less iron per an hour if you go over 150, and it just gets too laggy, which is half the reason for the iron rates dropping.
All right, so
Also,
go ahead.
also to test for better activation areas that might give you more spawns, fly around your map. Just experiment with the area. Once you build it to 25 villages, leave one account at the farm, use another one, fly different areas, different regions, and just see what happens. And you can improve them more and more. This one was originally 18,000 ingots. The one I'm working on my survival world, while creative world at the moment, is 70,000 ingots.
And that's just the
And
balance between how many pods you have here, where your activation is out there, and how much lag you have on the world in general.
also, the speed you seem to be moving seems to play a great part in the amount of spawns you get. Also, big long tracks don't necessarily work better than shorter ones, although shorter ones can be tricky to get working properly.
All right, and with that, I wish you guys all good luck.